Welcome to Bisexual Disasters. I'm Dimitri. My pronouns are he, him, and if I was a Thanksgiving meal, I would be the potato salad.
And I'm sorry, my pronouns are she, they. And I am a very sleepy bisexual disaster. we both are real sleepy today.
Ugh, such a mood.
So it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
um, by the time this episode goes up, it won't have been as long since the last episode. But upon
Previously.
recording, it's been like a month or more.
So, for you guys listening, this episode and the one previously, very close together. Very fine. Totally fine. We totally did not have a huge length of time between both episodes because
No,
life hit us.
it wasn't 6 weeks, surely.
Oh no,
No,
totally
it
not.
definitely was. Um,
100%. Like I moved into a house and
mm,
life happened very quickly.
yeah,
It's been a time.
yep. So, which also means that we didn't fucking post anything during Pride Month, which
I feel like a failed bisexual.
happy belated Pride. You
Pride never
wonder
dies.
if you wonder why we didn't mention it in the last podcast episode, it's because that was recorded before the beginning of June.
Uh-huh.
But
So, on
it's
that note,
partly because I wanted these two episodes to be uploaded close together because they're a part one and a part two.
mm-hmm.
Which if you've already heard the last episode, you know. But
Oh yeah.
a little bit of it is also because I've been really struggling with my chronic fatigue, and getting motivation to do literally anything lately has been really hard. And editing, even though I know in my brain it's easy, I can do it. Like, it's not like I make feature length fucking movies. I just need to edit our rambly hours to be slightly more concise rambly hours and then upload it. That's not hard. But to my chronic fatigued ADHD brain, I'm like, that's too much. I can't do that.
See, that requires 76 spoons. I have 5.
Yeah.
Like, no disrespect. My spoons are sporks right now. They're not quite gonna
Mm.
cut it.
Yeah, ironically, because they're sharper than spoons.
Just because it's sharper does not take away its like awkward ability to be a cereal spoon.
Mm.
Like, if have you ever tried to eat cereal with a spork? It's a very complicated process.
I
You
have
don't
not.
think it would be, but like, you go to scoop the cereal,
I imagine you.
you miss half of it. The milk slides
Yeah.
out through the spork part, and you're like, oh, great, half of the cereal is gone.
I imagine it would be pretty good to eat with Cocoa Pops because then you'd have more chocolate milk left to drink at the end of your cereal eating. But I also feel like you'd have to scoop faster because if half of the cereal's falling off the spork, you'd have to
Mm-hmm.
eat faster to make sure that the Cocoa Pops don't go super soggy, because soggy Cocoa Pops are disgusting. That's why I don't eat
Soggy
Cocoa
cereal
Pops.
is disgusting. It's why I don't eat like Rice Krispies
I
because
can't stand the
that stuff.
texture.
No, if it's not soggy, it's actually pretty dang
Yeah,
good.
if it's in square form, even better.
Mm-hmm.
Rice Krispie squares, so good.
The moment it becomes soggy, I am eating literal sludge. I want
Yeah.
to jump off a cliff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But cereal in
So,
general, real good.
right? I feel like one of these days we're gonna have to do like, what kind of cereal do you think I am?
Ooh.
And then we'll pick a cereal we think we are, but then pick a cereal that we think that each other is.
We could do that with we could have an episode on that, where we do that with like a bunch of stuff, like cereal, cars, animals.
Ooh. Okay, so I am so down for this. If you guys want to hear us do this, please leave
Famous works of
suggestions.
art.
Right? If you were a song, That's a dangerous one.
I'm pretty sure I know which famous work of art I am, but I'm not gonna say it right now. We're gonna leave that for whenever we do that episode.
That's okay. I'm pretty sure I'm Picasso. So, so fun life updates. I officially got moved into the house.
Whoop whoop.
Me and my fiance got all four of our dogs over here too. They are loving the fact that they can just be let loose into a backyard with a fence and just run and run and then squat and go to the bathroom and then come back inside and lay down and sleep.
Yay.
It is a
That
nice
that
feeling.
sounded like a sarcastic yay, but it was a relaxed
Oh
yay
no.
at the thought of doggos running around a garden.
Oh yeah. And it's not even a garden, it's just a backyard. And I don't care that it's not perfect.
That's a garden. It's still a
It's
garden.
perfect for me.
It's still a garden. A yard is a
With a
garden.
but it also has a privacy fence.
Even better. Oh my god.
Oh, I know. Like, if I could tell you how much I love the fact that we have a privacy fence, like, it has revolutionized our ability to keep, well, for lack of better terms, privacy,
Mm.
but also keep our dogs inside.
Mm.
And on top of that, none of our dogs are showing the OMG, I want to dig trait.
Ooh. Hopefully they will
So,
not start.
exactly.
I have no life updates. I'm still therapy's going great. I feel like I've
That's
said
awesome.
that every fucking recording
But
this
it's
year.
accurate, though.
It is. Therapy's going well. I played some Phasmo with my mom and Jamie the other day. That was really fun. Me and Jamie got to both on level 20 now, I think. And my mom's on like level 15. So that was
I'm
fun.
on level.
Have you even played it again since the big update where they like overhauled everything?
Yes.
Okay.
Do I know what level I currently am? No.
But yeah, I've just been gaming, trying to take care of my health. Oh, the arthritis tests all came back clear. So either it's really, really early stages and it's not showing it, or it's just my fibromyalgia being a dickhead. So the consultant wrote a letter to my GP recommending a couple of different pain meds I haven't tried for it yet, which I'm not holding my breath that they'll work because with my hypermobility syndrome, painkillers don't like to work on me. But I think the ones he suggested are more like nervous system targeting, so they work a little different.
Mm-hmm.
The first one he suggested was gabapentin. I can't remember what the other one was, but they're more like targeting the nerve rather than the something else. I
The
don't remember.
muscles.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's like it targets the nerves rather than the board, rather than like the brain or something like that. I don't 100% remember, but yeah. So we're gonna try those hopefully, and then he also put in his letter like if neither of those medications work, refer to the pain clinic, even though there might not be many more options that they can give me, but you never know. So it's kind of like, I don't know, throw shit at a wall, see what sticks. None of it, it could be that none of it sticks and you're just this way now and just will continue to get worse. So that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you just love when you're like, oh yeah, you found out what thing you've got? Cool, we can't do anything to help you.
That's so cute. Coin that'd be great.
Most of my health conditions are that way, where it's like, cool, we have this thing. We can't really do much about it, but we now we know what you have. I'm like, yeah, great, thanks.
That's cool.
On the
What
one
are you
hand,
doing
I'm
about?
glad that I can now like research that thing and talk to other people that have it, and like, you know, you can find communities within those health problems that can help you with like talk to each other about things that, maybe doctors wouldn't suggest to you, that coping mechanisms
Have a level of
and stuff
support.
like that. Yeah, exactly. You kind of share experiences, which is really helpful, but it can only go so far. And
Mhm.
even when there are medications to help things, it can only go so far. So it's a little bit frustrating.
I can easily see that.
Yeah. And I'm also on a new ADHD medication, which hasn't been giving me the same side effects as the other ones
Well,
did.
that's good.
But it also doesn't, I don't know if it's actually doing anything positive, but it at least seems to be doing less negative things. So I'll take that,
Oh,
and hopefully, as I go up doses, it will continue to not do negative things, but start doing more positive things, hopefully. Because
yeah.
I don't have the best track record with like any type of medication working with me. I don't know why my body hates medication so much. It just refuses to accept help. It's just very frustrating because I need it. But
God, it's
I
your body refusing help? Oh,
don't
jeez,
know.
it sounds like you.
Hey, I'm better accepting help than I used to
Now you
be.
are. Now you are.
Yeah.
When we first met, no, you weren't.
Yeah, but that's because now I know that the people who say they want to help me actually want to help me, and they're not just trying to get something out of me or manipulate me. I have trust issues,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, same.
But yeah, so hopefully they start to work. But again, with ADHD, it's one of those things where it's like it
It's hit
can,
or miss.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it can be medicated. Some people, no medications they try help, and some people, one will work eventually. You just have to find the right one and find the right dosage of that one, and it's just process of like elimination, just trial and error. So I'm still going through that,
Mhm.
but yeah, at least this one is not quite as bad as the last one, because the last one was really making my anxiety worse, and it was also kind
Mhm.
of like numbing my emotions, and not in
And
a,
that's a trippy place to be.
yeah, and it was not in a good way, because like I've got used to my BPD, right? I've got used to all my emotions
Mhm.
being big. And so when something comes along and like chemically alters my personality, basically, I don't like it. Like if it was doing it in the way it's intended to do, where it like helps me focus better and helps keeps my thoughts in order, which is what I want out of ADHD meds. I'm not one of these delusional people that thinks it's going to fix me. I just want to be able to
Mhm.
focus my mind better. That's all I need, really. I just need to focus and be able to actually act on the ideas I have, and like find that motivation, not get ADHD paralysis quite so much. That's
Right.
what I want out of it. But like it numbs my emotions to a point where, like, that might sound good on paper to some people. If you're an extremely emotional person, you have problems with emotional outbursts, and something comes along and dulls down your emotions, that might sound good on paper, but in practice, I hate it. It feels weird, because
Mhm.
I'm used to my emotions and how I am and how big they are. And since I've gotten a better people around me who've helped me learn about myself, I think I've got better at self-regulating. I've got better at, like, when I start getting pissed off, I step away and I'm like, I'm too angry for this right now. This is going to become a much bigger problem than it needs to. If I continue, I need to step away, calm down, come back. I'm better at that than I used to be. But when something is coming in and like numbing me, it means that even the things that I want to feel, like, I can't feel properly.
Mhm.
And so then when I ran out of the pills, whether it was because the chemist in my village is an idiot and he doesn't do his job right and doesn't fill in prescriptions the way he's meant to, or whether it was switching from one medication to the other and having that like break in between, it was like the dam burst open, and all of my emotions that I had been holding back the time that I was taking those pills came like smashing forwards. And I was
Mhm.
just like, I spent almost an entire day just sitting at my desk and crying, because I was so overwhelmed with all of the like pain and sadness from the several different piles of grief I'm still dealing with, that just
Mhm.
that medication had kind of numbed and pushed to the back of my brain. And yeah, when I stopped taking it, it just all flooded forwards, and I was like, nope, not taking that one anymore. Put me on something else, please. And she did. So this one doesn't seem as bad as that. I don't feel quite as numb and like weird in my own
Mm,
skin as the other one was. So hopefully that's a good sign. But hopefully it doesn't mean that it's just not doing anything at all.
right.
So we'll see.
Only time will tell.
Yeah.
Which is the worst part about those meds.
Yeah, and I'm not a very patient person.
What?
I know. It's so surprising.
Stalker. Nah, that's fair. To be honest, same.
Mm.
Like, I'll get on to another topic here when we move on to a certain category.
Mm.
And what I was going to say will actually become relevant to mention then. I feel like I don't want to ramble and then give away answers to the questions so early.
Well, before we get into the actual topic of today, another quick update is I have planted seeds this year, and some of them, knock on wood, are growing quite well.
Ooh, which
Uh,
one?
I have some Godetia, which is a
Mhm.
flower. For those who don't know, it's a pretty little flower. And they're growing quite well. Sunflowers are growing. My potato, at least I think 2 of my potato plants now are growing. I don't know about the third one. Some of my cucumbers were growing and a few other things. I planted so much stuff, and I bought like 2 little greenhouses to
Mhm.
put the pots and trays and stuff in. So, yeah, I am
That's
successfully
so
growing
exciting.
plants right now, and one of my cactuses is very slowly growing too, which is very surprising to me because I was almost certain that once again, just like last time I tried to grow cactuses and succulent, that it wouldn't fucking work. But knock on wood, one of them is growing right now, and hopefully it continues to grow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, back onto the topic of last episode.
Mm-hmm.
We left off talking about our favorite childhood games.
Yep.
Next up, unless I'm mistaken, is the adulthood favorite video games.
Correct.
So, do you want to talk about some of yours real quick before I move on to mine?
I certainly can. So the top 3 really for me are Sims 4. I fucking love Sims
Mhm.
4. The Dragon Age games and the Mass Effect games.
Mhm.
Specifically the Mass Effect trilogy. I haven't completed Andromeda yet. I do like it. I don't like it more than the other 3. I think it gets shit on more than it deserves. Because it's a good
Mhm.
game. I just haven't finished it because again, it's not Shepherd, so I'm not as emotionally tied to it
It's
as
hard
I
to
am the
invest.
trilogy. Yeah, it is a good game though. It's just if you go into it hoping that it's going to be like the trilogy, you're going to be disappointed. It is in the same universe, but it is not very linked. They and I'm trying really hard to not give spoilers. I think they did a
How old is
really
this game?
good. I don't know. I don't know.
If it's not a new game, I don't think you have to worry about spoilers.
You never know. But I think I can say what I'm saying without spoilers anyway.
Mhm.
Um, they do a really good job because the ending of Mass Effect 3 is really, depending on what you choose, is a huge impact on the universe around you. And
Mhm.
so my concern before I played Mass Effect Andromeda was how were they going to manage that? And I think they do a really good job of setting up the story of Mass Effect Andromeda, tying it enough to the trilogy so that it's clearly in the same universe and it makes sense to the storyline, but keep writing it in such a way where it's like, no matter what you chose at the end of Mass Effect 3, it doesn't affect Mass Effect Andromeda. Because they're not even in the same, like, galaxy.
Quadrant.
Like, they're not even in the same galaxy. The ending of Mass Effect 3, I think, only affects that galaxy you're in. But Andromeda is set in a different galaxy. And I won't explain why, just in case someone hasn't played it yet that wants to, that is listening to this. I won't explain more. But just know,
You'll
no
have to
matter
play to
what you
understand.
no matter what you chose at the ending of Mass Effect 3, Mass Effect Andromeda will still make sense. And I have to give them credit for that, because I feel like that can be a really difficult thing to do. And yeah, fair enough, they're in space, it's easier to make big distances like that in a space-based game. But still, I think they did pretty fucking well.
Heck yeah.
And I just love the Mass Effect games. They're great. I've played them so many times. And then Dragon Age is the same, although I've started Inquisition 4 or 5 times. Have I finished it yet? No. I will finish it this time. I'm close. I'm so close. But the thing that trips me up every time are the DLCs, the Descent and the Jaws of Hakon. And I might just... I'm one of these people who really likes to finish all the side quests. And I think I
You're
might
a
have...
completionist.
Yes, I am. I am a completionist. It's why
You are one of the worst people ever.
I know, I'm sorry. I don't do it with every game. It's just games I really like that have a really gripping story. I really like to explore as much of the world and do as many side quests as possible.
So all the good games?
Basically, yeah. It's why I still haven't finished Fallout 3, and then it was so long that since I played it that I just started it again, which is what I kept
That's
doing
one of
with
the reasons why I
Inquisition.
haven't finished Baldur's Gate 3 either.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like, oh, we're just the worst, but we're also not. It's fine. But yeah, so I might just have to finish Dragon Age Inquisition without finishing the Jaws of Hakon and the Descent, which feels criminal to me. But I also think that they are such difficult DLCs that if I push myself to try and like force myself to finish them, I'm not going to want to finish the game at all. So I think I just need to get through the main story, because Dragon Age 4 is coming. Like, we can see it. We can see the Dragon Age 4 at the end of the tunnel, and I need to finish Inquisition before that happens.
I'm gonna be honest, every time I've tried like playing Inquisition, I get to the character creator. I make the character look so good. I get so right. And then is the cutscene after like they fall down the bridge and they're standing back up and they have that like egregiously nasty expression on their face of ugh, while they're standing up, and I'm like, everything attractive about this character that just made went out the window. What the fuck is up with this? So then I'm like, maybe I didn't do it right. So I go back and create a new character. Same thing, make him as attractive, as wonderful, as cool, or as whatever, alternating in between. No, I do not always go to make sexually attractive characters. Sometimes I just go for like the nerd look, which I have done before
Hey, nerds are
because
sexy.
yes, they very much are. However, every single time it's that exact cutscene right in the beginning of the game ruins it every time.
I think I know the exact facial expression that you're on about.
It's like
it's the like.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's the wet food in the sink face.
I think it's meant to be pain. I think it's meant to be pain
stress.
and confusion. Yeah, and it's just it is a really, it sticks with you.
That's a way to state it.
Yeah. And then my other, like, the other one in my top 3, The Sims, is I put Sims 4, like, when I was writing my notes down of what games I wanted to talk about, I put Sims 4 because it's the one I've played most as an adult. But my love of the Sims franchise goes way back to the first fucking Sims game, like playing it on the PlayStation 2, and like then moving to playing it on Sims 2 on the PC, um and yeah, and then Sims 3 and now Sims 4, and it's like, honestly, I don't care if we never get Sims 5. If all they do is keep bringing out new expansion packs and kits and stuff, I would be fine. If they when they do finally bring out Sims 5, it's not like I'm going to not bother buying it. I'm addicted to Sims, of course I'm going to get it. But
Oh,
I
absolutely.
am very content with Sims 4. There are definitely things I would change, but I think they've done a really good job of making it very very customizable. I know that's the whole point of the game, but to the point where now they've even got this change happened quite a while back now, but they've got parts in the Sims creator where you can pick the person's pronouns. I can't remember if you can add custom pronouns or not, but they have like a drop down list of pronouns. Um,
Mhm.
and I think you can add custom ones. I might be mistaken. Um, and oh, my eardrum's doing a weird flutter. Please stop. Um, they've got like the selection of like, can this does this sim pee standing up or sitting down? Can this sim get pregnant or not? Can this sim get other people pregnant or not? Stuff like that, which is very, very inclusive to the like just the whole gender spectrum. Like
Oh,
very,
100%.
it's very like very inclusive of the trans community, and it makes it really easy to make like a trans character in the game, which I don't think a lot of games, I think it's very few games really have that level of inclusivity. And again, I realize that's the whole point of Sims, is to make people. Like their whole point of the Sims games is to craft people. But
Mhm.
just the fact that they're being so inclusive with it is really nice. I don't know a whole lot of what goes on behind the scenes because I don't really follow like Twitters or anything. I just hear tidbits every now and then from people who like will share the odd update on stuff, but I'm not like, I don't really go on social media much, so I don't get a lot of like behind the scenes news or stuff or some stuff like that. But I really
Yeah.
do like those changes that they made. I think it's really good. They also have like a good selection of pride flags and stuff that are just built into the game. Um I just fucking love The Sims, man, and I always have, and it just gets better and better. The one thing I do miss about Sims 3 that I wish they had carried over to Sims 4 is just how open world Sims 3 was. Like you still had the
Yes.
different worlds you could travel between, but within that world you could go around the entire of that like map.
Mhm.
Whereas with Sims 4 it was like you had to travel to a location within that same section of the world to then get nearer to a thing, and it's like that's just too much hassle. That's really the only complaint that comes to mind with Sims 4 versus Sims 3. I'm sure that if I played Sims 3 again and reminded myself of more of that game, I'm sure there would be a few other things that I'd be like, oh yeah, I do miss that. I miss having vehicles. I mean, there are like water vehicles and bikes now, but I miss like being able to buy my sim a car.
Right.
But again, that kind of, it was tied to the open world stuff of Sims 3. So I hope that when they make Sims 5, they'll bring that back and it'll be kind of like a love child of the Sims 3, best parts of Sims 3 and 4 squished together, and then with, you know, more updated graphics and stuff
Mhm.
like that. That's my hope for Sims 5. But, you know, if I really miss Sims 3 all that much, I can just re-download it again. I've got like all of the fucking expansion packs for that one. So you know, if I get super nostalgic, I can just re-download it again and fuck about for a bit.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. What about your top ones? What are yours?
So, ironically, of my games, one of them is Phasmo.
Mm.
And I know we talked about this briefly earlier too.
Yeah, because it's one of my
I
honorable mentions.
It's so good. It's so
Mm.
fun to play with friends and just completely surround yourself in nothing but the purest form of chaos.
Mm.
And there's never one game that plays identical to another. They're all individualized. Like
Mm.
you never have a repeat edition. And I think that's the part that I like the most. You can have the same house. You can have the same equipment. You can have the same creature.
Mm.
It'll always be a different experience.
Yep.
I love the ability to use it as a form of entertainment when I don't want to watch a scary horror movie, and instead I want to play a fun horror
Mm.
game.
Although it can still scare the shit out of you sometimes.
How many
I'm
times have we
so
screamed at each other?
I am so much jumpier than I used to be. Like, I used to go, like, quiet when I would get scared, and I'd be like, oh, you fucking asshole afterwards. And now
Mhm.
I'm like, ah! It's like, I'm like,
You've
who is this
embraced the
person?
scare.
Who is this person that has come for? I think it's like, it's probably something psychological about now being in a group of friends where, like, it's like, ah, yes, my voice is actually heard, and therefore now when I'm scared, I don't freeze in silence, I squeal like a little girl.
I can express myself. How am I going to do that? Scream.
Scream. But it is fun. Fear therapy makes me scream way more than Phasmo. Phasmo, I do that
Right.
kind of like shocked little oh tee kind of like squeal where it's like, you know, when something makes you jump in a horror film and you like kind of do a yelp and then you laugh at yourself immediately afterwards because you realize it
Yep.
wasn't actually scary at all, it just caught you off guard. That's more of the like Phasmo effect.
Hmm.
Fear therapy like makes me piss myself nearly. Like I get so like between rounds of fear therapy, I've had to take toilet breaks because like the last round has scared me so much. I'm like, if I get one more jump scare, I'm gonna need a new chair. Like I need to go pee.
Not even clean the chair. Throw out the whole chair.
Throw out the whole chair. It doesn't matter that it's pleather. Throw it out. Burn everything. No, no, but it's Phasmo is really good. It's
Hmm.
really fun. What do you think of the update?
You know, originally when I logged into it, I was kind of thrown off because I'm like, oh, this isn't the room I started in. I'm in like a whole basement, like headquarters thing.
Mm.
Bro, I miss opening the door and being scared shitless.
Lisa.
She was so nice.
You can still see her though. If you
Can you really?
if you go up to the door and angle yourself and just kind of look through, you can still see the silhouette of her jittering in the back. She just doesn't make you jump anymore. Shut up, Alexa.
So it won't be like creep open the door and her going, hi,
I do miss the hey.
and then just vanish.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, you can't do that anymore, but you can still see her silhouette. There is still a Lisa reference in the lobby.
You can
Um
still see her having an active seizure in the distance.
Yeah, Bright Eyes isn't there anymore though. Because remember there was that shadow
Aw.
guy at the
Yeah.
top? Because I
Yes.
remember every time I'd load into the lobby, I'd be like, "Hi, Lisa," and she'd go, "Hey," and then I'd look up and be like, "Hi, Bright Eyes," and he would just stare down at us ominously and not move. And it was good fun. I miss Bright Eyes. I keep checking the windows in the lobby because they have those huge windows now. I keep checking
Hmm.
them, hoping that like they'll put him just like sneaky in a corner somewhere, but I have not yet found any evidence of this, and it's made me a little bit sad. But
Right.
I
I want to find out more about the like little light, like illuminated, like black light signs on the ground.
yeah, they took
I
it
haven't
away
figured
now.
out. They took those
They
away?
took it away now. I think it was probably leading clues to the lighthouse map because they just brought the lighthouse map in, which if you remember
Oh.
like 2 or 3 years ago when there was like the newspaper clipping of a haunted lighthouse and I was
Hmm.
like, we're gonna have a lighthouse map, we're gonna have
I
it.
remember that.
And then they brought in the camp and they brought in the asylum and I was like, we're getting a lighthouse, I'm telling you, we're getting a lighthouse. And then they finally announced it and I was like, I fucking told you, I knew it was coming. I was so excited. And I've played it once and I shit myself. It's
Almost.
terrifying. We
Oh.
We played it. It was me, Jamie, Matt, and Abbott, and we played it. And oh my god, I
So what
was
I'm
like, I
hearing is I'm
don't
gonna have to
like
play it
this.
with you.
Yes.
Yes.
It's one of those things. I'm like, I don't like this. I want it again, but I don't like it. But I want it again.
The masochist inside me wants it, but the scaredy cat says no.
Yeah. The little girl that squeals at jump scares that's inside me, she doesn't want it. But the masochistic horror film lover who likes controlled fear wants it. Give it to me. Not in a kinky way, but just in a I am
I like how
controlling my
you had to
fear
state
way.
that. I like how you had to state that after adjusting your choker.
Not in a
Like,
kinky way.
not in a kinky way though. No.
We need to
I don't know
start
what you're
we need to
talking
start
about.
putting the videos on the actual podcast at some point so people can see all these mannerisms and facial expressions.
Yeah. That honestly, I feel like that would make everything make so much more sense.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is those listening on, streaming services may not be able to see our face. However, if you were to go and watch the YouTube videos
Mm-hmm.
afterwards, that might be a thing we add.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if you want to see our faces live react to everything, because I feel like it would be a real good time of momentary clips of our faces, screenshots of the worst frames that you can find, and a lot of me dissociating halfway through.
Yeah.
It's like that's
Yeah.
one of my biggest issues so far is like us talking and then getting onto a point and then, having a full-blown, fully active conversation back and forth and me just blank stare into the left bottom corner of my screen while you're talking and me going, yeah, uh-huh. Oh, I 100% agree. Well, actually, maybe. And ugh.
It's okay.
This would be
ADHD is.
for real. Anyways, moving on with games.
Yeah. Oh, just quickly before we move on from Phasmo, I
Mm-hmm.
will say, when I first got into the new update, the big update that happened, not the Lighthouse one, the big one before that,
Right.
I at first was like, I don't know how to feel about this because they reset our level, they reset
Yep.
our money, and I was like, this is
Everything.
stinky. I had to start again, and yeah, we got a prestige level for it, but also I was like, stink. I had 500, and I think it was 515 levels. And I
Mm-hmm.
know there are some people that had like over 3,000 levels, which is honestly insane to me. Like, no hate to those people, but a lot of them were like people that actually, streamed it for a job, like that was their job. So I get why some people played it that much, but just the amount of time that must take to reach that level is like, I can't even comprehend it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm like, yeah, cool. I have a little badge on my like shoulder and a little plaque on the wall that says what level I got to. Ooh, like cute and everything, but like, what the fuck? I had over 11,000 saved up and so much equipment, and now that's all just gone. And I was like, fuck you. But now I've actually started playing it. Like, now I've actually been playing it for a while. I'm at level 20 or 21. 21, I
Mm-hmm.
think, because I unlocked the upgraded EMF reader. I do like it because after a while, like, before the update, Phasmo could get really even though, yeah, each ghost is different, even if you're in the same house and you get the same type of ghost and everything, it still acts differently within its parameters. It would still get repetitive after a while, but I
Mm-hmm.
do like that this new update with its goal, it's like added a goal system now because the higher level you get, you unlock more equipment. And then once you've got to level 100, you can get essentially buy a prestige level.
Mm-hmm.
So any level after level 100, you can basically reset to 0. It resets your level and your money to 0. And you start
Mm-hmm.
again and you can build that up. But now you're at prestige level 2 and you get like, there's at the moment 20 prestige levels possible, and they all have different ID card color bases and a different badge. And then once you get past level 10, I think the badges repeat, but instead of being still pictures, they are an animated version. So like level 11 has like an animated version of the badge of level 1. And it's like, they look really cool. And I'm like, that's a good system to implement, because it's making me want to play the game more, because I'm like, I have a
Right.
goal. Even though I know it would take me an insane amount of playing to reach like prestige level 20. Like, I can't even fathom how long that would take me. It's still setting a goal. And then when you've reached the goal of, like for now, it's unlock the next piece of equipment, build up money, because then once you've unlocked an upgrade, so unlocking the base level of equipment is fine. Like, just when you reach that level, you can then buy that piece of equipment. Unlocking the second one, once you've reached the level, you then have to pay $3,000 to actually fully unlock it.
Ew.
Yeah,
Money cost.
but if you're playing it a lot anyway and you're fairly, at least halfway decent at the game, it's not that hard to build up money, as long as you don't get unlucky and die a bunch of times in a row. It's not,
About that.
especially if you're playing with friends, it's not that hard to build up money. And then, so you unlock the thing, and the upgrades don't go up in price. So like a level 3 flashlight is the same price as a level 1 flashlight. So it's like, that's how they kind of do it. So you just pay to unlock the thing, and then it's the same price as the base, no matter what level it is. That's really cool. And it gives you something to work towards. And then it's like, oh, once you're done with that, you're level 100, you've unlocked all level 3 equipment. It's like, well, then what do you do? Like, oh, you gain a prestige level and you start again. And while that could still get repetitive, it's at least far less repetitive feeling than it was before, because it gives you like actual step goals. And then I think for like each level in between, where the levels you don't unlock a piece of equipment, your reward for going up a level is just like $500.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they have done pretty well at making it more, giving us more incentive to keep playing without fucking the game up too much. And they've got custom difficulty levels now too, where you can go into the settings and change probabilities of everything. And yes, it will affect how much money you earn for that level, sometimes for the better if you're making things harder for yourself, sometimes for the worse if you're making things easier for yourself. But that's good for if you just want to practice and you just
Like, if you want events to be so much more frequent, so
Yeah.
like you walk into the house and immediately everything starts freaking out. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
no, bye.
Yeah.
I had that happen twice to me.
Yeah, or if you're playing alone and you're not really confident with the game and you want to drop the difficulty level even lower than the preset easy mode, you can do that to practice and get some more confidence. So I think they've done really well. But at first I was like, what the fuck have you done to my favorite Ghost game? And then I was like, actually, I really like it.
You did make it a little more user friendly and
Yeah.
easier, but also us a challenge.
Yep. And they're still adding more maps because they've added the lighthouse, which I waited like 2 or 3 years for. So I'm happy about that, and I will
Patiently or impatiently waited, because I have a feeling it was more of a
summon some.
patiently waited with an impatient demeanor.
It was more of a, like, whenever I was playing Phasmo, I would be reminded that that I felt in my bones there was a lighthouse coming at some point. So whenever I would play it, I would get impatient and be like, where is it? Why don't I have it yet? Put it in my hand right now. And then whenever I'd stop playing, I'd stop caring, because I'd just, you know what ADHD is like, object
Yeah,
permanence, and just like, I'd forget.
it's
Or
the
if they brought out,
worst.
a new map, I'd be like, "Where's my lighthouse, though?"
Like, that's so cute. You brought out an asylum. Where's my lighthouse?
Yeah, you redid the asylum and made it a different asylum, even though the one that we had was perfectly fine. Where's my fucking lighthouse? But no, it's good. I like that game. What's your
Mhm.
next one?
So the next one I have is Terraria. See,
Ooh.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like as a kid, I wouldn't have gotten into this game as much as I do now.
Mm.
As an adult, being able to have 2D Minecraft,
Mm-hmm.
but with lasers, with summoning staves, with magics,
Lasers.
swords, bows, arrows, guns,
Mm-hmm.
huge monsters to fight, blows it out of the water.
Yeah,
I will create the most like complicated tree houses, underground asylums, you know, so many things.
yeah, I do. I almost put it on my list and I didn't, mainly because when I wrote the list I hadn't played it in a while. And
Mhm.
then I played quite a lot of it. I think last week I played it for like almost an entire day or something. And
Mhm.
or like 2 days in a row. And it is I don't play it very often, but
But
I
it's
will go through
addicting.
phases where I'm like, I really feel like playing Terraria right now, and I'll just like
Mhm.
play it a few days in a row, and then I'm like, I'll see you again in a few months.
But for real though, because like for me, I will play and we'll like me and my fiance will go, we'll go, we'll go. We will not do like journey mode where you can have the temporary invincibility or whatever. We'll do normal. We'll go through, we'll die several times, and then we'll finally and it never ceases to happen. We will accidentally summon the Empress of Light.
Oh.
And when we do, we struggle to kill her. But when we do, once we get that like rapier that she has with like the attack speed of Dear God the Flash is jealous, no other boss is a challenge at all.
Mm.
You just keep a slight distance, have a couple of health potions, and go point, click, and shred their HP to non-existence.
Mm. See, I the game, because I started a full new game because I don't think I transferred my save files over. I think I just like uninstalled it off of my old laptop, and then when I was setting games up on my PC, I was like, I'll download Terraria, why not? So I didn't have any saves from the last couple times I'd had Terraria phases. So I started a full new game, and then the fucking slimes and shit were pissing me off, so I just turned off enemy spawning
Yeah.
and was like, well, now I can just explore the world as much as I can
Hmm.
and get as many materials, because that's what I really like doing. I like playing survival crafters on like peaceful mode as
Hmm.
much as I can, because I like it's the finding resources and the crafting items and building your base, and like that's the part of those games I really like. Same with Minecraft. Like I prefer to play that on peaceful mode because the Long Dark as well. Like most
Hmm.
survival games, if there is an and the Forest, I've been playing the Forest a lot lately as well.
Oh God.
If there is an option in a survival crafter to play it on peaceful mode, I am far more likely to want to play that game because yeah, fighting can be fun, but it in a survival crafter, it also pisses me off really quickly
Hmm.
because I'm like, I am trying to build my fucking house. Can you leave me alone? I am in the middle of fucking architectural design right now. I don't need cannibals or slimes or fucking creepers or there's not really that many enemies in the Long Dark, to be honest. It's mainly like bears and wolves, so not so much that one. But like, and you also don't build a house, you just don't try not to freeze to death. But like, I don't need cannibals or creepers or slimes or zombies just like coming and fucking up my shit while I'm trying to build.
Hmm.
Like, I'll build my base, and then maybe later when I'm a bit more like set up and I've got good tools and good levels, then maybe I will open it back up again and put enemies back on. Which again, I love that about Terraria, that you can turn it on and off so easily. So
Hmm.
if you need a like an enemy specific resource, you can just turn enemies back on fight a bunch of them, and then be like, all right, turn it off. I've got all the gel I need, or whatever, you know. Like,
Right.
I love that, which a lot of other survival crafters don't seem to have that ability. It's like once you've started it on peaceful mode, you have to continue that way. You can't change it. Like the forest, you can't change once you've started it in a mode. You
Yep.
can't then change that mode. I think Minecraft you can. It's just that if you put a game in creative mode, you can no longer get achievements for that
Correct.
game save. But any mode above that, from peaceful upwards, you can fluctuate between as much as you like, and it won't affect anything else apart from its current state. But I fully agree with you that Terraria, it's up there. It was almost on my list.
It was on mine. And then the last one I have on my list, Baldur's Gate 3.
Another one of my honorable mentions.
I love that game so much. I have invested so many hours when it was still in like early access, learning the game, watching it completely change.
Yeah, I kind of rage quit Baldur's Gate when they took away the sexy Astarion scene during beta. And I was like, how dare you? How dare you? And then they just kept updating and updating and updating and updating, and I was very limited on hard drive space because that was before I had my external hard drive on my laptop. So I just had the, like, I think I think my laptop has 2 terabytes. It's either 1 or 2, I don't remember, built in. So that was all the hard drive space I had to play with, and I was like, I can't hold this game on you anymore. I just can't. So I was like, I'm just gonna wait until it's finished and it's fully out. And then yeah, and now obviously I have my new PC and a fuck ton of hard drive space, so it is so fun. I'm gonna ask you a question that might call you out a little bit, but it'll call me out too. Have you actually finished it yet?
Why you gotta do that?
Because neither
No.
have I. That's why.
So with one of the friends I used to have, we ended up getting to Act 3. Then with me and Leo, we ended up getting to Act 3. However, none of our mods that we had for like quality of life stuff work anymore. So now we gotta start over.
Yeah, I don't mod games that much, partly because a lot of them fuck up with updates that happen. I think I mod The Sims, although since I've put The Sims on my PC for some reason I can't get mods to work, so the Sims I have on my PC is just base game and the expansions and stuff that are actual Sims branded and no mods, which is weird for me. But it's nice. There's a lot of nice stuff in The Sims now, so I don't feel the need for mods as much anyway. But yeah, I don't mod games that much, but I did hear a lot of complaints about like, oh fuck, now all my Baldur's Gate mods are broken. I'm like, hee hee hee, I'm over here playing most of my games vanilla and I don't have this problem very much. Although I do like the Stardew mods. Those stopped working with the 1.6 update, and I haven't re-downloaded them again because as far as I know, they're not 100. I don't think all of the mods I was using have been updated yet. So I'm gonna leave it a bit and try and get through more of 1.6 before I mod, because I like to get through as much of the game as I can until either I've completed it once, like with Baldur's Gate, I don't want to mod it until I've at least finished the game once. Or if it's a more continual game, just until I get bored of the base game. Like with Stardew Valley and stuff, like, yeah, it has years, but as far as I know, you can go for far longer than my attention span can stay in a game.
Oh yeah.
So, like, I like to play as much of the game they intended for us before I start modding things. I think the quickest I've modded a game that wasn't Sims is Lethal Company. because I needed it. I got the longer day mod and the mini map mod, and a few other ones that me and Jamie got, just like you were saying with Baldur's Gate, just like quality of life ones for in game,
Mm-hmm.
because the days are fast, the enemies are aggressive, and I'm a little pussy. So like, I like horror
Oh my
games, but I
god.
don't. That one makes me scared too quickly. Like, I can't. It's too much pressure. So, but yeah,
Mm.
I Baldur's Gate is. I mean, I'm literally gonna play it again after we finish recording. I Since it fully released, I started one game as Holly. I do not know where the fuck that save file went, because when I went to make my newest one, it's gone. I don't know where it went. I started one as a paladin who is going to be a D&D character. I'm kind of trying to slowly dip my toe back into tabletop. It's like still fills me with dread, but I'm also starting to get that itch where I'm like, I need to roll shiny rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And so I created a paladin so that, because I've never played a paladin before in D&D, and so
Never?
I was like,
Ooh.
I want to play a class I've never played before. I'll play a paladin, like, and I really like the backstory I wrote for her, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna play a paladin in Baldur's Gate. I'll do a paladin playthrough so that I can get a little bit of a sort of preemptive grip on the mechanics actually in practice versus just reading them, because I'm not good at like just like I can't just read something. I learn more by doing. I think it's called kinesthetic learning,
Yes.
and you learn more by like doing. Um
Mm-hmm.
so I started a playthrough as that, and then that D&D game might start soon. So she's in Act 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I don't know how quickly that D&D game's going to start, so I don't want to finish the game too quick, which I know is probably not going to happen, because apparently Act 1 and 2 are like the first half of the game, and then Act 3 is like the second half of the game. So I'm like pretty sure I'm nowhere near finishing, but I want to kind of save some of that until I'm actually needing to be like in that character's headspace a bit more. So I
Mm-hmm.
started a new game. Guess what character I recreated for this new game?
Shoot, now you're gonna make me think. My brain it cannot think right now.
I'll
I
give
give
you a
up.
clue.
Okay, go for it.
I asked Matt to guess last night and he got it in one.
Cereal?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
My little elf bard. My little lilac skinned elf bard.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been really fun, like, meeting the bard as a bard and helping her finish her song. And, like, oh, it's been really fun so far. I've barely done anything. I've, like, only just kind of, like, yesterday I did the goblin fight, the first, like, goblin fight, and I, I've got Asterion. I've got all of the, like, first group of companions. So I've got
Mm-hmm.
Lae'zel, Shadowheart, Will, Asterion, Gale, and Karlach now. I just got Karlach before, like, I went to bed. I was like, I need to make sure I get my little Hellion. And I'm gonna romance Shadowheart because she's probably the closest in vibe to Finesse, Serial's girlfriend in that campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's, like, kind of dark, mysterious, kind of gives off this kind of cold, mysterious vibe, but she's actually soft and squishy on the inside and just needs someone to cuddle her and love her and tell her that everything's going to be okay. Which, if we're comparing characters to Serial's type, is Shadowheart. Because that's basically Finesse was the, like,
100%.
mysterious drow that, like, no one really wanted to talk to because she was a drow and they just kind of assumed she was going to be a bitch or something. And Sariel was like, no, I specifically want to talk to you because no one else is. Because no one's including you, I want to include you. Because everyone should be included. And then they ended up falling in love. And she was like, I was just trying to be friends, and oops, lesbian love.
Right.
Oopsies love. Which, honestly, yep. That's how yep.
That's typically how it happens with Baldur's Gate too.
I was gonna say that's how it happened with me in real life. It was like I was just trying to be nice and be friends, and then oopsie, fell in love.
Kind of like me. Oh God. Try to get you off by force. Nope. Try to get you off by force. Nope. Hey, maybe if you get off of me, we can settle our differences differently. Oops, that's a nat 20. I hate this.
Are you talking about Astarion?
No, I'm talking about Elliot and how he accidentally seduced a gnoll.
Oh God, I've forgotten about that. Oh my God, we should have an episode where we just like talk about D&D and just tell like some D&D anecdotes from our games, especially the Waterdeep campaign we had together.
We have to talk about the water. Like, it just straight up, yes, please.
Comfort Noble.
Emotional
support noble. Yeah, that's it.
Yep. I miss that so much.
Yeah, same.
So much.
So good. I miss D&D, and it's like it's a confusing pile of emotions that I'm dealing with right now, because obviously certain events are very tied to D&D that have happened, and I'm like, it hurts me to think about playing D&D again, but it also hurts me to not have played it in so long. And it's like, I'm just waiting for like, I'm slowly getting to the point where my urge to play is starting to outweigh the pain related to playing.
Yup.
But yeah, Baldur's Gate is a nice in-between where it's like it can help me scratch that itch a little bit without feeling so close to actually playing D&D that it starts upsetting me and reminding me of some person.
Yeah, no, that's 100% fair.
Yeah. So I have 2 more for my just general adulthood faves.
And then do we want to save the last category for another episode?
I mean, we can speed run them.
I feel like if we speed run it, we ruin the whole purpose of like their existence. Do you see it?
That's true. Okay, yeah, we can save comfort and escape faves for a part 3, which means we can't leave it 6 weeks before we record again, because
No,
I need to edit and upload these.
I say we record much sooner.
Yes.
We'll discuss that after.
Yes.
And we'll probably trim this out of the actual stream.
If I remember while I'm editing.
Well, hey, if this didn't get removed and you're listening to this, congratulations. You met the one part that didn't get remembered.
Oh, it's cute that you think I'll only forget to edit out. Like, you'll only fuck me. It's cute that you think I'll only fuck up one part of the editing. That's the sentence I was trying to say.
That in itself is one you're probably going to remove.
No, I'm keeping that in. Everything stays in.
Welcome to the raw, unedited version.
Okay, so I have one like actual full-on favorite and one honorable mention that is like, they're both very close, honestly, in how much I love them. How many do you have left?
For the adulthood
faves, yeah.
I have spoken of mine.
Okay. So, the one that, like, the other kind of favorite, sort of main favorite of mine is the Fallout games, which, again, I've never finished Fallout 3. It is my favorite Fallout game, and I know that people have their own favorite Fallout games, and they're very passionate about their favorite games in each franchise. Like, my favorite Mass Effect is Mass Effect 2. My
Mhm.
favorite Dragon Age is Dragon Age Origins, and I do agree with people that Dragon Age 2 is in my opinion is the worst Dragon Age game. But I don't mean that it's a bad Dragon Age game. It's just that it's my least favorite of the three. But
Mhm.
they're all, I still think all three of them are fucking amazing. So it's like, it's a high bar to be on the low scale of, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
And same with Fallout 3. I played a little bit of New Vegas. It didn't grip me as much. I feel like it had been overhyped for me because so many people have been like, "Oh, New Vegas is the best Fallout game. New Vegas, me." And I'm sure it's good, but I feel like so many people gave me this expectation of, "Oh, if you really liked Fallout 3, New Vegas is going to blow your socks off. It's going to blow your mind. It's amazing." And I'm like, "It's I guess." I got
Mm.
into it and I was like, I kind of prefer the beginning of Fallout 3 to the beginning of this one. I'm just kind of thrown into the world with no premise, no preamble, just fucking basically a Skyrim opening of, oh, you're awake. Like, and I was
Yep.
like, and again, no hate towards Skyrim. I like Skyrim. But again, it's like, I feel like it was overhyped. And so I dropped off of playing New Vegas quicker because I was like, this isn't as good as you told me it was going to be. And I feel like if people hadn't given me that hype beforehand, I would have
Mhm.
enjoyed it more because my bar wouldn't have been set as high. And again, that's not to say it's a bad game by any means. I love the Fallout games. I really want to play through from the first game one day. I
Mhm.
I know 1 and 2 were a lot older, the graphics are completely different. I am prepared for that eventuality. 4 I really like. It's a little daunting in some aspects, but I do really like it. I haven't played Fallout
Yeah.
76. I haven't even looked at that one. I know it's got such a bad reputation as far as Fallout games go because of the microtransactions and all that kind of stuff. And it's like if someone really, like, if someone is wanting, like, if one of our friends is like wanting to test that game out and they want like 1 or 2 other friends to play with so they're not going it alone, I'd be totally interested in doing that with them. But it's not like, I'm not really excited to like start, I'm not excited enough about it to instigate that myself. It's
Mhm.
like, if you just want to, if you're just curious and you want to fuck around and find out, and we play maybe like a couple hours together and see what it's like, see if it's actually as bad as people say it is, or see if, if you overlook the fact that, I mean, no one forces you to make a microtransaction, that is your own choice.
True.
If you overlook that part of it, is it just okay? Like, is it still enjoyable despite it being a more business sided setup of a game rather than here's a story you can share. Um,
Mhm.
but it's like, again, like, game companies, all companies try something out and not everything works, but they tried something. Yeah, maybe it mostly kind of flopped or just flopped a little bit. I don't know the statistics on that, but they tried something new. Maybe it wasn't the best move, but they did it.
Right.
But yeah, my favorite Fallout game is Fallout 3. I have still never finished it because I'm a completionist and I also have ADHD, which means I don't like finishing a game unless I have completed as many side quests as possible. If it is a story-driven game that I enjoy playing, I want to do as much of it as possible. But
Mhm.
because I have ADHD, I can't stay focused on one game long enough to actually fucking do that. So it takes me years to complete big story games because I switch
Such
between them.
such a mood.
It's so frustrating, but again, some games are just like worth it. Like some games I just think are worth making
Mm.
like that extra effort for. And I also would like to say, um, there is a YouTube uh channel, Oxhorn. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I haven't.
He has most of his videos, to my knowledge, at least most of the ones I've watched. I haven't watched all of his stuff by any means, but I've watched a fair chunk of it. And he focuses a lot on Fallout games and Wolfenstein games.
Interesting.
And he's got full playthroughs on, I think, every Fallout game. I don't know about 76 because I think he's done videos on 76, but I don't know if there's ever like a completion point to that game, so I'm not sure. But I think he's done at least one full playthrough on each of the other Fallout games. And also, I think all of the Wolfenstein games. Did he do Yakuza games as well? I can't remember, but he does really good videos on those games. So if anyone's like, oh, I want to know the story, the lore of like Fallout 1 and 2, but I don't want to actually play those. I want to jump in at 3 when things are actually like 3D and more modern on the graphical in the graphical sense. I highly recommend watching Oxhorn's videos. Oxhorn, just like the animal and the horn. Like it very good. Like, no, I was gonna say not sponsored as if he's a brand. No affiliation or anything with the person that owns that channel. Like, I don't like know them personally or anything. They're just someone I found on YouTube several years ago, and I just really like his
Big
videos. And
recommend.
every time I think about Fallout games, I think about him. And yeah, big recommend. And then the last one was on my honorable mentions, the Telltale games,
Yes.
especially Wolf Among Us. I know we talked a little bit about this when we did our 2024 roadmap. The fact that Wolf Among Us 2 is hopefully coming out this year at some point. They're not entirely sure when, but hopefully this year. Yeah, I love Telltale games, and that one I think is my favorite. I do really like the Walking Dead ones too. And I know they've got a Batman one. There's a Game of Thrones one that I think I have on PS4. I can't remember what other ones they have, but I really like Wolf Among Us. That one was amazing. And I can't wait for the second game to come out. I'm gonna have to when we actually have a release date, I'm gonna have to make sure I replay the first game again.
Just to get caught up.
Yeah, to refresh my memory. I think I mainly remember most of the story, but just in case there's any little tidbits and clues that I've forgot that got thrown in the brain shredder, I'm gonna replay it again just to remind myself. But yeah,
Right.
I love Telltale games. I was so sad when the studios like shut down, and then when a bunch of the developers kind of broke off and started doing their own thing and were like, we're gonna make a sequel of Wolf Among Us, the one everyone asked for, and Telltale wouldn't let us do. We're doing it now. And I was like, thank you.
Big appreciate.
Yeah, big time appreciate. But yeah, I think that's everything. Most of the other like ones will be for next episode because most of my other favorite games come under the like chill comfort category.
Basically same.
Yeah, I can't think of any more right now that aren't already written down to be talked about next time. So yeah, I think that's it. Do you have any more last minute thoughts for?
Not particularly.
Oh, I do have a question.
Yeah.
Because you have, just a little bit of a like for Sonic.
No, totally.
Any of the games that have come out in like our adulthood years from Sonic, do any of those stand out to you?
Honestly, when you say our years, What do you mean? Are
Like
you talking like within the past 10 or within the past 5?
past 10 years.
Past 10 years.
Because the only
Give me.
I
Hmm.
I'm not like a massive Sonic fan. We spoke a little bit about it last episode, obviously, but the only game that I can think of that came out more recently is that's just like Sonic was Sonic Generations, and I tried to play that and I didn't really like it. So, you being a Sonic fan, I wanted to know if there were like any more recent games that I missed that were actually good. Cause
Let's see. Of all the games that came out, Sonic Mania is definitely one that I recommend. It's got the old Sonic the Hedgehog feel, but with um a much more updated like way to go about it. It
mm-hmm.
is one of the games that originally it was a fan-made game, 100% a fan-made game,
Ah.
and then Sega got in touch with them and said, "Hey, um, we're gonna give you a cease and desist. You can no longer produce this on your own
Oh.
because we want to hire you."
Oh.
And they hired them.
Nice.
They had most creative liberties on it. It's just they had access and resource to Sonic
Mm.
trademark and copyright stuff now, which
That's
is why
really
Sonic Mania
cool.
became so good.
That's really cool.
Um,
I didn't know that. I had heard a few little things about Sonic Mania that it was a good game, but I didn't know all of that.
it is such a good game.
Is
I
it
recommend.
are all Sonic games still Sony only? Are they still Sony exclusives?
No, Sonic Mania you can get on I think almost any system, including the Switch.
Ah, that's cool.
I think I have it on the PlayStation right now.
I'll have to look into that and
Hmm.
see when not when, what platform it's like cheapest on basically.
Right.
Because I have PS Plus and Game Pass, so if it's included in either of those, I'm set.
Let's
But
see.
I, because I'm not one of these people that partakes in console wars. I love my PS4. I love my Xbox One. I love my sexy rainbow gaming PC. They are all good for different things.
Hmm.
I, I
Uh.
I also love my Nintendo Switch. Not to leave out Nintendo. I love my Switch. I still own my
Mhm.
Game Boy Color that I've had since I was like 10 years old. I love that shit.
Right. I will say if you are a huge fan of like open world adventure like combat games,
Mhm.
you might enjoy Sonic Frontiers for the Switch. It definitely
Okay.
has almost like a Breath of the Wild feel, but
Hmm.
with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay. I haven't played Breath of the Wild, but I know the vibe that you're on
Right.
about. I really do want to play the Zelda games, but I think I just want to start from Ocarina of Time because I got this idea put in my head by my twat of an ex that like, oh, if you're not going to start from the first games, then you might as well not bother playing them. He was a really gatekeepy. That's not the worst part about him, but one of the bad parts about him was he was a gatekeeping bastard. Um, and so that
Mhm.
kind of put me off because I've played the first couple of Zelda games. Have I finished them? No, because I hate them. I'm not good at them. It's not
Mhm.
the kind of game I'm good at. But the more open world Zelda gets as the games get, newer and newer, the more excited I am. And I think Ocarina of Time is the first one or the oldest one that I'm actually excited to play. So I think I'm just going to start with that one and work my way forwards from there.
Yup.
So yeah, I might have to. You said Sonic Frontiers?
Yes.
Sonic Frontiers and Sonic Mania. I will
Yes.
I will have to look into those and give them a try.
There's also one that just came out that is multiplayer up to 4 people.
Ooh.
I think it's Sonic All Stars or Sonic Superstars. I cannot remember.
Okay. What kind of genre is that one?
Platforming,
Okay.
but how they do it is so good, and then the music is also a solid bop.
Mm.
I want to get the game, and if I do, I need to get it on a platform that has like sharing capabilities.
Is it not
So that way
cross-platform?
I haven't actually looked into that, so that's my fault. I'll have an answer for you next time.
Shout out to all the multiplayer games that allow cross-platform compatibilities, so that
You guys, the OG.
so that people on different systems can play together, and it's not stupid and dumb, because I think cross-platform should be far more common than it is, to be honest. Shout out to you games that do have that. You're winning the game. You're winning the game.
You really are the OGs,
The fucking goat.
right? But again,
I never
thank you
say
for
that. That felt weird. Sorry.
look. Thank you for being just you, because like that was awesome, and I loved every ounce of it.
No, stop.
I mean, okay, I'll stop if you want me to.
Now you've just made.
You're welcome.
Now you've made the part of my brain that secretly likes compliments and the part of my brain that feels really uncomfortable when people compliment me argue, and my brain just went doo 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 doo.
I feel like I do that way too often.
Yeah. You
Either way,
and a certain couple of other people are getting really good at hacking my aversion to compliments, and I'm like,
it's
fuck
because
you.
we know you.
It's because you know me, and because you love me, and because I love you. And I can't
It's a
convincingly
mutual.
tell you all to shut up and fuck off, because I can't be that mean to people I care this much about.
Correct.
Stupid, decent friends being decent and friends.
I know. Jeez.
Stupid, sexy friend group.
Right? God, being bisexual sucks sometimes. But thank you guys for lending us your ear. If you want, you can find me on Twitch at The Danger Bacon.
Yeah. And you can find me on YouTube as Witch Vamp Zoe, or on Twitch as Vamp Zoe. I have actually started streaming again now, almost every Thursday at 8 p.m. ish UK time. Sometimes I start a bit early because the anxiety of waiting around to start streaming makes me want to not. So I just sometimes just start early because I'm like, I'm ready, I'm bored, and I'm anxious. Let's just fucking go and get it over with. Because I enjoy it while I'm in it. It's just the build up. But yeah, I have actually started again. So yeah, and we will sleepily ramble at you again very, very soon with
We're very
the
wide awake.
yeah, we're so awake right
Gamble with
now.
us.
With the third part of our favorite video games, talking about the ones that we play when we need comfort and escapism and just relaxing chill vibes.
Indeed.
So until then, be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.